Different leaders in Koboko district, Uganda Revenue Authority officials, businessmen and women, and the affected families gather at Koboko Town Hall to find amicable ways to get a lasting solution to the scuffle that happened on the 23rd of February 2022 between security operatives enforcing the law and the rioters as they attempt to set ablaze Koboko Domestic Taxes Office, where unfortunately one life was lost and several people were injured. The chairperson, Business Community for West Nile Region, Mr. Moses Obetia, says the incident that happened had got nothing to do with smuggling, but the young man who got involved was surviving on his small business, who got trapped in thinking he was a smuggler.
We know our people with their emotions. We have very high emotions. Being the breadwinners in this region, for somebody to succeed in his emotion, we must be part and parcel. If we, the business people, are not part of it, the emotion will always die and will not succeed and get a name. This is one core thing. Commissioner General, I want to speak here, Chairman, that on the issue of 23rd, please move us out as businessmen. We're not part and parcel.
However, the civil society network activists call for sensitization of the communities about revenue collection to bridge the gap between Uganda Revenue Authority and the taxpayers.
Let us talk to the community as URA. In the Koboko, URA has a very big gap with the community. We don't have community engagements. Our people of Koboko don't know what they're supposed to do as the taxpayers. They don't know. And if we don't tell them what they're supposed to do, how will they behave right? And we're supposed to have even taxpayers feedback. It is not only a local government to do. As you call us. Don't go to feed people whom you want to give that small food. Call the people even in water, let them take the water or without, but get the message. That's what we want for our people.
I also would like to remind the URA enforcement team that even the person doing smuggling has human rights. You have to handle that person as a human being in the first place. Unless you confirm that this is really smuggled item, then the law can take its course.
Meanwhile, the members of parliament say there can be a better way to collect taxes, but Uganda Revenue Authority first have to understand the community they are collecting taxes from.
To my people of Koboko, for us to be able to attract investors, the first fundamental thing you need is peace. The second is land. If we do not have a peaceful environment, then people will not come. And I keep on telling investors that West Nile is the way forward. You have Central African Republic, you have South Sudan, you have DR Congo. So it is the most geographically advantaged position. So let's not ruin it with this instability. I believe we can coexist. There's a time when the army and the civilian population were at loggerheads so many years ago, but now we can coexist. We play football with the UPDF sometimes. So for me, I think this is something that is very achievable. As has been alluded to, there is a huge misinformation gap, knowledge gap. The issue of variation in taxes across the country shows that there is a huge gap in knowledge.
But we are not political actors. We have a mission. And our mission is to make sure that our district is better than we found it in one way or another.
So I want us to go back and be positive influence to the youth, especially the elites. We have very many social media groups for people from Koboko. And if you look at the posts, most of the posts are not positive influence. We seem to influence things and create a situation where we get into this kind of situation. So I want to request all the elites in the Koboko district, especially we have the parliamentary group, Koboko, what do you call it? Yeah. We need to be a positive influence to our youth so that we don't experience this again.
The Uganda Revenue Authority Commissioner for Customs explains part of the law on the movements of goods across borders.
We are all East African countries, East African community, so we are relying on one law, the East African Community Customs Management Act. That's the bottom line. So what happens in Dar es Salaam, in Mombasa, everywhere is the same law, passed by our members of parliament. So it's what we use. So when you have goods which are below $50 crossing the border, whether it's Padea, whether it's Koboko, or wherever, you don't pay anything. You don't pay anything. Whether it comes by plane, through post parcel, or by bus, $50 and below, you don't pay anything. That means above 50 you pay. Now, we have a simplified trade regime at our borders. If you go to Koboko, Oraba, anywhere, it is called a passenger baggage. So when you have goods which are traded within East African region and are not more than $2,000, okay? Those are the ones you don't have to go to Kampala, make a declaration. The officers at that border are supposed to help you clear very fast. Not even asking a clearing agent to help you. You just ask a URA officer to capture for you and you cross, either from South Sudan or from Uganda to the other country. Now, if you travel by bus, either to Juba, and you are coming to Uganda, to Ajumani, or you're coming to Koboko, and you have accompanied baggage, you have bought your things around Juba, and you are coming to Koboko, you are entitled to a free tax of less than $500. So you buy things which are not more than $500. If you have anything above $500, our officers will tax you.
The Commissioner General of Uganda Revenue Authority says Koboko district is different from the time he had last visited in the 90s, and the development is brought by compliance the people had with the tax collectors, which he says the relationship should continue.
Smuggling is something that kills the economy, and it should be treated as economic sabotage. And every leader, every citizen who loves his country must distance themselves from this evil. If there is big smuggling, please share it with me. It is my job to try and stop every leakage of revenue, and especially the big ones. The chair of the business community spoke about big smuggling. Yes, in the 1990s, when I was around, again I was involved in some of these operations. There was dumping. People would bring a whole truck of fuel. Instead of crossing the border, throw it at the border and it returns, they drop it here deliberately. I thought we were past that, but if it is happening, share with us that information and let's take it on and stop it. But there is no one above the law. There is no big smuggler who you will ignore and go after the small ones. We have dealt with the big ones. We are dealing with the small ones. We must clean our economy from smuggling for us to be able to raise enough revenue to build our country. The request of having a one-stop border point station here in Koboko has been echoed here. We handled it well, we are upstairs. And Honorable Chair, as I promised, we will prioritize having this. We have all this in our plan. Now we will work hard to prioritize it, and I also requested my members of parliament to give it support so that we can have it done soon. So I came here, one, to sympathize with those who lost, the one who lost their life, who have come to sympathize and apologize for what happened in that unfortunate incident. But I've also come to seek a new partnership with the people and the leaders of Koboko. Let's work together to transform our nation. I was here 20 years ago. Koboko was underdeveloped. There were no roads. There was no power. Things were so different. I've come and seen a developed part of Uganda. I wish we could all commit ourselves to making Koboko as beautiful as the rest of the developed world.
The relationship between Uganda Revenue Authority, an independent body collecting taxes in Uganda, and businessmen and women who are in most cases termed as smugglers has been a bitter one for the past few years that all the stakeholders are looking forward to bridge that relationship. Emmanuel Agele, West Nile TV.